Show. Appreciate you guys joining us as always. Today, it's that day. It's fan day. It's when we bring in some of the best supporters of the Burgundy and Gold, people who are passionate about their thoughts and their beliefs, and we put it all together here over an hour of just having fun, friendly conversation. If you want to join us, all you have to do is email me at the Lake Lewis Jr. Show at gmail.com, and we will get back to you. It may take a week or so, but we will get back to you and bring you on, put you part of the family. So with all that said, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. What's that? How y'all doing?
Good.
So I
What's up,
preface it
bro?
by saying, how are you guys doing? But you know, it's always been how you guys and Sheila. But today it's how you guys doing with Sheila and Ebony. We've got a new female joining
Hi,
us today.
Ebony.
So what's up, Ebony? How you doing?
I
I'm
am.
good.
Hey, Ebony, how you
Hi.
doing?
See, that's called
Welcome.
growth, fellas. You know, that's what
Word,
that is, you know. So
word up.
it goes to show you the reach of this fan base and how they're everywhere. We have Oscar on the other side of the planet, literally joining us from Turkey, you know, so we appreciate that as well. And then just our regulars, you know, everybody that's making this a normal habit. You know, I greatly appreciate you guys. And I got a lot of emails and a lot of DMs and texts this week. Regarding my question, you know, that wasn't meant to be loaded or anything like that. We talked about it before we came on, and I just wanted to get your thoughts, you know, on what you guys feel, and Sheila and Ebony now, what you feel as far as just the temperature right now. Do you feel like it's tense? Do you feel like, you know, people are walking on eggshells a little bit? So we'll start around the horn, and we'll start with Ebony first. You know, welcome to the program. So you know, we're all gentlemen here. You know, so ladies first. So Ebony will start, and then we'll have Sheila start after that. So what you think, Ebony?
I think they're walking on eggshells because everybody have high expectations for the Commanders this season, and basically it's not going the way that everybody
Mm-hmm.
thought that it was going to go so far. But hope it gets better in the rest
Mm-hmm.
of the games.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's good. You know, I think people have to understand that they're 1-1. They win tomorrow, they'll be 2-1 after 3 games. And, you know, maybe, you know, if you ask most fans before the season starts, what's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is be 0-3. You know, they
Right.
could be 2-1 and not playing good football at 2-1. So I think a lot of people would have signed up for that, knowing that it should get better. So that's a good point, Ebony. What you think, Miss Sheila? What you think?
I don't think it's time to push the panic button.
You don't think it's time to push the panic button?
No.
Exactly. Good stuff. I mean,
Mm.
go ahead.
Because last year we lost 5 games and we still made it. So we got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of games to play. I think they're going to pull it together. You know,
Okay.
you could see it on some of the players, their attitudes, and some of the interviews you guys been doing with them.
Mm-hmm.
They realize that they got to get it together. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Yeah, no players ever told me anything differently. Like, oh my God, man, we got to do this, we got to do that. They're all literally positive. They're all, you know, they know they haven't played their best football. And again, you know, not making any excuses, but that Thursday game, you know, to have that kind of turnaround after a divisional game to start the season. I don't care if it was the Giants, and Giants aren't going to be a good football team. It's still an NFC East football game, and then you turn around and you're going to that kind of buzzsaw over 4 days, which means that take one day away because of travel, you know, take another day away because it was the day after a game. So you basically had 2 days to prepare, and yeah, that's gonna do a number on anybody going into Green Bay. We'll see what that looks like week 8 when the Eagles go there. Yeah, that's gonna be a one for the ages too. So let's keep this thing rolling. What's up, Abdul?
Hey, what's up, Lake? What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing?
What's happening, bro?
Everybody's
Hey,
good.
sir.
Appreciate
What's
you
going
joining.
on, man?
Hey, all right. So yeah, I echo everyone's sentiments. It's early in the season. I mean, last year we were 1-1, and you know, it's everyone knows like it's one of those situations where the O line didn't have time to gel in the offseason. Coleman was hurt. most of the training camp. We got a rookie at a new position, being in right tackle, opposed to left tackle. So, I mean, it's going to take time to gel, but, I mean, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I'm sure you guys saw my thing from practice yesterday, and Laramie, was just literally saying, like, telling me, look, man, it's gonna take time. You have all these new pieces, and then let alone now for those guys, they're gonna have a different quarterback behind center tomorrow. So the cohesion and things like that is gonna come, but it's not there right now. But again, 1-1 with no cohesion and a chance to be 2-1 with no cohesion, I think a lot of people would sign up for that. All right, so Big Bud, what's up, man?
How you doing, sir?
I appreciate you joining. You know that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I think I agree with Abdul. This is a chemistry thing. We haven't had a chance to really kind of get the rotations together and everybody to kind of be cohesive with this. And it's going to take time. But, I believe we have what we need for this thing to tighten up, and we're still going to reach our goals. It's just looks a little different last year than it does this year. It's going to be different.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Greg, what's up? Greg, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, Blake, man? Again, as always, appreciate you for this platform. We can talk, family can get together and talk about our team.
Absolutely.
Like I posted, like on X, like after the game, I said, I didn't never think we were gonna go 17-0, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I didn't,
Right.
I ain't never say, never had that even an inkling that we was gonna go 17-0. And I thought it was gonna be a tough battle anyway because Green Bay was pretty good last year, and then they added a star to the defense, right? And then
Mhm.
it's on a short week, like you said. So I did expect to play a little better. I can admit that, but
Mhm.
it's tough. It's tough. Like you said, 2 days and the cohesion is not there. Uh, I think we kind of smoked the Giants overall. I mean, that game could have been
They're just better
40.
football team.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That could have been 46 or whatever it was, right? But it wasn't. We missed something, and I think it'll get better. So I'm not. I ain't panicking. I think we're gonna still win. I told y'all at the beginning of the year. I think 13 games is it. We're gonna get it. So
Okay. All right.
we'll
Good
see.
stuff. Good stuff. All right, Gerard, you're driving, my friend. So let's make sure you got the eyes on the road. You're still on mute though. Still on mute. There we go. All right. He's done. See. We can't. Oh my
All
goodness.
right,
All
here we
right. There
go.
you go. All right.
Look, I'm good. I'm good. I
Okay.
appreciate the love, but I drive for a living.
All
I'm
right.
good.
There
I'm
we go.
good.
All right,
But
fam.
Just stay living.
yeah, but yeah, no panic at all with this. But at the same time, I don't take this game lightly.
Mhm.
We need to win this game. In my
Absolutely.
eye, we need. The Raiders are an upper team coming. That's up and coming. We need to handle our business. Let's get back on track. And for me, it's all about the coaches. I want to see Cliff, and I want to see the defensive coordinator do their thing. And by the way, I love the question that you asked Cliff about Terry. To me, he danced around there a little bit. But look, I'm just ready to see. Let's put it together. It's week 3. Let's get it together. That's where I'm at. But
Okay.
no panic whatsoever.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. I like that. I like that. All right, so Mike B, what's going on, Mike?
What's
He's
happening? Good
not here.
morning. It's been a while, man. And just he was being nice. He did not dance around.
Mhm.
The statement he made was untrue.
That sounds like a typical lawyer right there.
I
That's
thought
an
the same
attorney
thing.
for
Hey,
you.
it does. You got me. It does. It does. It does. But I'm gonna leave that alone. Let me pat myself on the back on this. I'm looking at my regular season call. I
Okay.
had an L on that Green Bay game for all the reasons that it was short week
Mhm.
going into Green Bay. Now at the time I called it, I didn't even know they had Micah. This was pre-Mike.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Exactly.
I am nervous about the next game, but just to let you know, so it's here for prosperity's sake. My next L is the Chargers game. That's my next L.
Yeah, and I
That,
remember you called in
that's
on
my
my
next
show
L.
months ago, and
So
we broke
yeah,
this down, and he did.
yeah.
He had two rather early, and then I was a little perturbed, but you
Yeah,
know what?
I know you were.
You might take my people used to call me Lake Stradamus. You might we might start calling you Mike Stradamus, if that happens. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they don't get that L. But that Chargers game is definitely, man, it's nothing like traveling, like just all over
Against
the
a good
country,
team.
and then you get an L hung on you and you gotta come back. It's man, everyone's like, man, how excited are you as far as you going to all these games and you doing this? I'm like, nah, you don't understand that travel. When you lose, it makes the flight seem like it's extra long coming back. So hopefully they can get some W's. All right, so good stuff there. Oscar over there in Turkey, Istanbul.
Istanbul.
What's going
Yep.
on, my friend?
Good to see you, like, good to see everyone, and welcome to Ebony, to the crew. Welcome to our family. The good news, I just bought tickets for the Madrid game, like, and the first question my son
All right.
asked
Thank
was,
you.
Yeah.
is Lake coming? And I said, I don't know, I'm gonna ask him.
I absolutely will be there. They already
We'll
got
plan
my
something,
hotel and
hopefully.
everything at the stadium taken care of, and bringing my lovely better half. So yeah, we're excited, definitely.
Yeah. So I agree with Miss Sheila. It's, to me, it's still early to hit the panic button, but on the other hand, I still want to see, us establishing the rhythm defensively and offensively. I just want to see more a little than the team. Even though JD5 won't be playing, I still think we're gonna be okay versus Raiders.
Hmm.
Their new tight end is really good. What's his name? Browser or something?
Brock Bowers. Yep.
Powers. Yeah, he's really good. So we have to cover him well. That's about it. Let's go and get this win.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. And just so you guys know, Oscar calls, Commanders games over in Turkey. So, we got
Well,
another journalist in the building. So I appreciate that. All right. Shano's out there in Fresno. What's going on, Shano?
Well, happy fan day, everybody.
Like the
I,
Happy
backdrop.
fan day.
oh, thank you. Yeah,
Mm.
just celebrating the fact we got that approval.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sure.
We'll
So,
talk about that shortly.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to agree with Oscar and Sheila that no panic at this point. It's early. However, I feel that the negativity was perpetuated because of the fact that it was a mini bye. We had 10 days to talk about it, stir. So
Mhm.
hopefully we just leave it behind us, move forward, and as Oscar said, get ready for the Raiders. So we can't sleep on them. I think the substitute quarterback Mariota is going to come in. Hopefully he's seamless and does what he does.
Mhm.
As far as he hasn't started for us, so that's a
No,
little different. But
no.
if he can play the way he played, how he did last year, we should be good.
Yeah, and that's a good point. We'll talk about that in a second. But I do have some thoughts on Marcus and actually what I think he could bring to the table as far as a calming presence. Just knowing him and how he is in the locker room, he's just one of the most just even kill guys you ever meet. And I think that that's going to be a necessity, come tomorrow because you guys know sometimes when you start going through adversity, you need someone around you that's more of that calming presence. And we all know with Jaden's just going to be, foot to the gas pedal all the time. That's how he got hurt. But Marcus might be more willing to, at this point right now, maybe Marcus looks for Terry a lot more, and that's not taking any shots at Jaden. I'm just saying Jaden has superhuman powers. Let's just call it like it is, so he can do things a little differently or see things, but maybe Marcus might be just more what's there and what's not there and simple as that. So maybe we'll see that tomorrow to kind of get things going. And then when Jaden comes back, which I think will be next week in Atlanta, I think everything can just really start hitting the ground and running. So good stuff there, Sean. All right, so Will, what's going on, brother?
What's good, Lake? Listen, welcome, Miss Ebony. Hello, Miss Sheila.
Hi.
Um, Listen, it's not time to press the panic button. However, every week you have to get better.
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Every week you must show improvement. And I think that's the biggest disappointing part is like there was no improvement on the defensive side of the ball. There was no improvement on the offensive side of the ball. So it's a little bit concerning. But other than that, you don't press the panic button. You just look for improvement in areas. And this week we got to get takeaways.
Yeah, absolutely. They something that they haven't had in, I mean, my gosh, you gotta go back to you got
Detroit.
to go back to Detroit, exactly, in the playoff game. That's the last time that they've taken the ball. They didn't do it in the preseason.
Yep.
They had the fumble up in New England. I think Jacob Martin and Johnny Newton caused the fumble on Drake May, but I mean like a pick, an interception, something that flips the
Well,
field.
they did have one in the Giants game, but the penalty took it back. So
Well, yeah, don't count.
Don't count.
right, you right. Yeah,
And it
you
was
right.
their penalty. I think it was when Bobby got that wasn't
Yeah, it
unnecessary
wasn't a
roughness, by
penalty.
the way.
Right,
Yeah, but
right.
still, yeah, good point. All right, so Willis and Willis, I promise you, man, I do not set this up every time for you to be the last person that goes. It's just for whatever reason, you're always the last person in my video collage on here.
You're not
So
last this time either, Lake.
oh yeah,
I
because
ain't gonna
Dwayne,
lie.
yeah, Dwayne is yes, yeah, I got you, Dwayne. So Willis,
What?
you're not last.
You took my position? All right. Well, all right. Hey, family and friends, how is everybody doing? I'm sorry I missed last week. It's good to see you.
No worries.
Good to
Appreciate
see
you
you.
being
You got a
here.
doctor's? Do you have a doctor's note?
Fairly close to that, yes. And I see we have another lady in the group. Nice to
Yes,
nice to
yes,
have
we
somebody
do.
else, some
Thank you.
diversity here. I like it.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to be the contrarian here. I'm not actually pushing the panic button, but I'm side-eyeing it right now. It's over there, but this last game was just a stark contrast to everything I was expecting from this team. I mean, we were just outclassed on all three levels, like immensely outclassed. It wasn't like just close. It looked like we were a college team against a pro team. You know, like our both offensive and defensive coordinators were outclassed. They just didn't seem to have a good answer, even coming in after halftime. I mean, they didn't seem to do a good adjustment for me, and it alarmed me. You know, and then we walked away with multiple injuries. You know, like several year-ending injuries of key players, and now we don't even have Jaden for this game. And yeah, I mean, I know he was on the practice field, and it's probably a short-lived injury. You know, but the fact that he's missing is not good for the team at this point. You know, I mean, we're working on continuity, and here's our star sitting on the sideline. You know, and that makes me nervous. You know, that is not a good sign. So here's what I'm thinking is this game, even though Jaden's not leading it, it is still critical that we really make a statement on this game, because if we don't bounce back from this is going to start becoming a mental hurdle, not only for the fans, but I think it will start eeping into the locker room, you know? So I'm not hitting the panic button right now, but I'm suspended waiting to see what we're going to be doing this weekend, because that was not a good showing. And I'm looking to see how this entire team is going to bounce back. They're saying the right things. The attitude seems to be good, but let's see what the product is on the field, because like that was abysmal. That was
Okay.
really abysmal.
So you know from doing this for so long, I can tell when someone is like what Willis was just doing just now. Willis was walking around that panic room. The door is open in his world. The panic room door is open. He's just walking around it, and he's stopping in front of it. No, I'm not gonna go in. And he walks around it, and he walks around it, because I could hear the panic in there,
It
and
was definitely in his voice.
it is definitely in there. So let's get Dwayne real quick, and then we'll go on to another subject. What's up, Dwayne? Uh-oh, Dwayne, are you frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dwayne's
See, I was
frozen.
last.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get Dwayne.
Claim this spot back. Claim this spot back.
So Dwayne, when you get your thing on there, we'll get you back on there. All right, there he is. Dwayne, are you good now?
Yeah, I'm straight. I'm sitting in my driveway, so my Wi-Fi and my data was picking up.
Okay. All
so
right.
it's messing my signal up. So we
All
good.
He got Y data.
Right. Well, look, good morning, family. I'm happy to be on with you guys again. Welcome, Ebony. Um,
There you
Thank you.
go.
hopefully
Mm.
after the day you come back again.
Yeah, I
You
will.
know, we're a rowdy bunch on here sometimes. But I think for me, I'm good right now. The truth is I just got three concerns. Like one, Marshawn Lattimore, because it
Okay.
seemed like he's starting to get targeted now,
Yes.
right?
Well,
And
That's two concerns.
and
Yes.
he and it seemed like he's starting to get the St. Juice treatment, and we don't want that,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
right? So
Somebody go.
that's one concern. The other concern is I'm 37. We ain't been able to cover tight ends since I've been alive. So,
ooh, hey,
so,
I'm glad you hit
so,
that because that's my concern for this week.
so, so, and then the last one is Matt Gay, man. Like I understand the guaranteed money and all that, but man, when you got Brandon Aubrey booting stuff from 60, 65 yards, would have been good from 70. I can't sit there and watch that man shank a 51-yarder. Like I can't do it. Like
And
um,
You see what the Ravens did. I understand the
so
circumstances of why they got rid of their kicker,
Yeah.
Justin Tuck, but still, Justin
They
Tucker,
found
but
another one.
still, they found somebody that they not even looking. They not even worried now that Justin Tucker's no longer
yeah, and
there.
I'm gonna tell you how worried I am real quick. I'm so worried that I be researching free agent kickers. So,
Well,
so I'm a
apparently,
look. So I think about when I come on with you, I just say, look, go ahead and tell AP to call Borgales, man. Go ahead and tell him. Go ahead and tell him call cool. It's all right. We'll come up with a community fund to pay that guaranteed money
You know,
today. So
we
it
get
go.
we give Mike Barrett to do some litigation or something for us. Listen, I gotta tell you, Zane Gonzalez and Austin Seibert are still out there.
Yeah, I know you said that.
And I'm like, they had success
Yes,
until
they
their
did.
injuries came up,
Yep.
I even
and
accept him rubbing his head 15 times. I don't.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not like you would bring someone in that would have to learn, new special teams jargon and all that. They could come in and hit the ground running. And as I've said before, could it get any worse?
No.
Like,
Oh,
what do you
man.
have to lose at this point? I mean,
That's right.
when they lined up in Green Bay,
Mm.
I kid you guys not. When they lined up and they called they called the timeout, and I remember when they started bringing everyone out, and I'm like, at first I thought they were going to punt, and I'm like, what are they punting? And when I saw Matt Gay coming out, I'm like, they're actually trying. At the time, I thought it'd be like a 60-yarder. It was 58. I'm like, that's not who you guys are. Like last
No.
year, you were going for it at these
yep.
times.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like, let's get the aggression back, and that's the segue
Yeah.
moving to the next thing we're going to talk about. Like when we talked about no panic, I think everyone agrees, not just yet, but I do think if they lose tomorrow, I don't care if it's Marcus starting and Jaden's not. If they lose tomorrow, they're home. This team has been, if anything, they've been stellar at home. Since Dan's been the coach. Matter of fact, they're going for tomorrow. Their ninth home win in 11 outings. 7-2
Wow.
last year, 1-0 this year. They win their home games now, and that's what you're supposed to do. This is a winnable football game, even with your backup quarterback. If you
Yeah.
don't take care of this, though, and then you're going on the road for the next,
The Falcons.
Atlanta, don't sleep on the Falcons. It seems like they have a defense now too, by the way, and we saw that in Minnesota.
Mhm.
And then LA, the Chargers are starting to make their claim. Like everyone's talking about Baltimore and Buffalo. The Chargers are like, look, I know everyone expected the third team to be the Chiefs, but they're saying, we might be the Chiefs this year as far as that division. So it's not going to get any easier. We know that Chicago comes in and they're reeling, and I'm sure that they would want nothing more than to come in here, Caleb, Ben Johnson, the whole nine. So there's going to be some elements to that game.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is that what would cause for you to hit that panic button? If like, is it a loss tomorrow? Would you still feel like, it was out? no Jaden was there. It's okay. But what would cause you, because I think everyone's hands are out of their pockets now. The button's on the table. Your hands aren't, concealed in your pockets anymore. Your hands are out of those pockets. But when do you start going towards that panic button? So we'll start it back around again. Ebony, you're up first. What you think? Uh-oh, I think Ebony might be frozen as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll jump to Sheila real quick until we get Ebony back. So Sheila, what would cause you to panic?
Yeah, if we lose tomorrow,
I think Ebony's talking.
Oh, there we go, Ebony. Okay, but you're frozen, but we can hear you. So if you want to answer that, that's fine. You said it. So if we lose tomorrow, that would
yeah,
cause alarm for you. Uh-oh. Yeah. So Sheila, go
yeah,
ahead and jump in on that one. Okay.
yes, because
Okay. Yeah, you're breaking up, Ebony. So we'll get you back. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't
okay,
you?
Oh, there we
Okay,
go.
there we go. Now we see you.
There
Now
she
we
go.
see you.
Yeah, now she moving
Okay.
around.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So you said if they lose tomorrow, that would be cause for alarm for you, the panic.
yeah, yes, because it seemed like the coaches really wouldn't be, coaching them or giving them the encouragement to win the games. That'll
Mm-hmm.
be 2 games back to back that we lost.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, Sheila, what you think?
What's going to push the panic button?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I just don't have that right now.
That's good. All right. So
I just won't believe that. So
Sheila is one of the positive folks in the group. No, she is. Sheila is always like, until I have to see it,
yeah,
I don't see it.
I just won't believe it. I just think that Mariello, he wants to win. I think he can.
Mm-hmm,
And I don't look at that. We shouldn't be panicking about LA. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas, but I'll say this.
Like, they talk about one player all the time. Basically, I know they got the other quarterback that used to be Seattle's quarterback, but
Geno Smith.
Did you see them play last week? They looked a mess.
They did, and see, so for me, that's the area that I'm saying, if you can't turn them over,
Right.
something's wrong.
Yes.
Something's wrong, because
Yes.
he's a turnover waiting to happen.
Wait,
And-
but everybody talking about the 3 interceptions that he threw,
Mhm.
but 2 of those interceptions were deflections.
Didn't he throw 3 picks last week?
Yeah,
He
they were
did.
they were deflections, but
Right.
still, it was for a deflection from a 6'5", 6'6" quarterback it's a bad throw. I mean,
No.
it's
But late.
Mhm.
His first interception, literally, the DB was in the right position, hit the ball. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the wide receiver, it bounced off the wide receiver's hands, and the DB was right there. And the second one DB tipped it, another DB. I'm sorry, that was the last one. One DB
Mhm.
tipped the ball. It
Mhm.
would have been a touchdown, right? One DB tips the ball, and another DB's there to scoop it before it hits the ground.
Yeah.
Are those on the quarterback, or is that the defense making the plays, which our defense hasn't? So if we come in saying Geno's going to turn over the ball, we have to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, that the first one though, it looked to me like the safety broke on the pass, and then it caromed, and then the linebacker
Yeah.
caught it. That was a bad throw. It was just they jumped all over his route. Again, but if you look at Geno's one of those quarterbacks. He's hot and cold. When he's
Yep.
hot,
Mhm.
he's
Hot.
really good. I mean, he's a
Yep.
Pro Bowl quarterback. You can't take that from him. But when he's not hot, he's bad. And you just hope the one that comes in the Northwest tomorrow is the bad version. But you know what? You got to make him bad. And
Yeah,
that's
that's the part.
that's the part. Exactly. That's where I want to see this defense dial up some blitzes, man. Do something, but just let's not sit there and just let them drag you in the alley. Like
Right. Right.
you have to show some resistance sometimes. You got to fight back. And I understand when you look at the Giants game and you look at the second game of the season, obviously against the Packers, I didn't see the same creativity and
Right.
intensity. I
Yeah.
just didn't, and I don't know what happened. But as media, we saw it, and I know as fans, you saw it. The question is, why didn't the coaches see it? So, and then they come back and in the press conference and they're saying all the right things, the communication, they didn't trust their eyes. And listen, at the end of the day, if this show does not get recorded, if this show doesn't work, it's not your fault. That's my fault, right?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. If it keeps happening over and over and over, ultimately it has to fall on the leader of who's running that. And for me,
Just say his
I
name.
hear you said just say it. Joe Witt says all the right things in our pressers. He does. You hear him
With an
talking, it's
attitude.
like a whole nother different language. This guy knows what what he wants to have done out there. Well, you need to get them to do it. Bottom
Thank
line,
you.
simple as that,
Mhm.
and not get mad at people for asking you questions that are
Right.
obvious questions. So
Right.
anyway,
Right, because he
I wasn't in
what
my feelings when that happened. I wasn't, but a couple of days later, I was like, damn, he carried me. But
yeah,
anyway,
because he knew because you struck a nerve, like that's why.
but but y'all know I wasn't there trying to hit that button. I wasn't. That's not my style. It was just
No, you try to get information.
Can I say
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
that?
I'm shocked that
I wouldn't
people
look
aren't
at
targeting Trey as much as I would if I was an offensive coordinator. But that
Right.
tells me that they see something. That they're
Yes.
clearly they see something, and you guys know what they're seeing. There's no dancing around that.
Lake
So how
question.
can
What
you?
did you ask him? Because I didn't look at him. I couldn't.
Oh, I just no. I just all I said was are you surprised that teams are throwing more at? I didn't even say targeting. I don't think. I think I said are throwing more at Marshawn, who's a veteran and a multi-year Pro Bowler, and they're not throwing at Trey, who's a rookie. And he
Right.
just said that he didn't find that question to be entirely accurate, and therefore he can't answer it.
Yeah, you come with receipts next time.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, and I just was just like,
proof.
I wanted to say, so coach, you're telling me that in that Green Bay game, you did not see the game start. They literally
Right.
went at Marshawn almost exclusively the first couple
Yes.
drives.
Yes.
And we everyone saw that. So what I want to know is if offenses are seeing this and they're doing it, what can you do to help Marshawn? That's all I was gonna say. That's
Trying to
a
That's
help
he.
him
question.
help
That's
him with
his.
his
Hey,
That's
job.
hey,
Yes.
yeah. That's his version of Ryan Grant. Like
Uh,
remember how Jay had
Jay
Ryan
Gruden,
Grant?
right?
He couldn't. Ryan Grant couldn't do nothing wrong, boy. He always ended up on the roster. That's
Right.
Joe Witt version
I'm
of
gonna tell
Ryan
you.
Grant, man.
But I
nah,
don't.
I
But
think
Like,
go
I,
ahead,
I
Abdul.
think the teams are. Oh,
quick question. So, what I want to know is there what do you consider crossing the line? Because could you follow up, or is there a penalty for you following up for asking that particular question? Because me personally, I think that was a great question, and I think it deserved the
Was
answer for the fans. And
Mhm.
is there like a penalty, like where you
No,
can't?
no, I could have followed up, but
Penalty.
Okay.
but my style is
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
see, I'm smart enough to see though what happened there. He got
Right.
and I'm gonna say it. I don't even think it was my question that got him fired up. I think it was before, and it got him going. And
Right.
yeah,
Right.
he
yeah,
did come back and apologize. I will say to Ben Standick, he apologized to him afterwards because he told
hmm,
Ben, I don't want to look at last year. And then a couple questions later, he referenced
yeah.
something they did last year. So then he
Right.
apologized to Ben, and that's all good. So again, it wasn't to stir the pot. That's not my style. But when he said that to me, I couldn't answer. I can't answer your question. That's when I was just like, okay, I don't need to be heard in these press conferences. I think you guys know sometimes you don't
Right.
even hear me ask questions.
Quiet.
I don't need to be heard. So my question was answered by not being answered. So I think
Right.
everyone knew the answer with no answer. You guys know
So
where I'm going with that, right?
yeah. So
Yep.
like tell me
late.
this,
Yep.
like
Yes.
Mhm.
what does it take? How much abuse does Marshawn continue to take before we make an adjustment as far as benching him or moving him as you suggested?
See, I don't think Marshawn should be benched at
Yeah.
all. And I don't
No,
think all this falls on Marshawn. I don't.
no.
I think
No.
Marshawn, if you even go back in the Green Bay game and look, he's there. I mean, it's not like he's like, somewhere not even close in the vicinity of the receivers. He's there with the receiver. Some of those were
Yeah.
really good throws, some of those were really good catches. But
Right.
my point, all I wanted to know was, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I'm playing against a team, I'm finding out where are the Pro Bowl players on that defense. And I'm probably going to run something to the other side of where they are. Well, because we're not seeing that now, that tells me that those offensive coordinators are seeing something on film that they believe that they can go at Marshawn. I don't know if it's a technique, I don't know if it's a scheme, but whatever it is, they're going at him. And you have a rookie on the other side, and you have a second year guy in the slot, and they're not. Yeah, someone will say, well, no, there's only two more differences with them throwing at Marshawn. Well, hell, I remember you never threw his way.
That's
I
right.
mean, guys, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
right.
If you're a
Well,
shutdown
But
corner, you don't throw at him, period. So now teams
but
don't
like
see him.
Well,
also,
like I tell you what I saw. I look back at this game and I tell you what I saw. What
Mhm.
I think is the issue. He's always in position. He knows where he's supposed to be, but it's all has to do with his hips and where they're positioned. Because to me, it seems like he's concerned about getting beat over the top. So when he does react to those outs, his body's already in motion to go upfield. So now he has to change that trajectory, get his motion going forward, and by the time you get that going, they've already, with a good quarterback that understands where his guys are supposed to be, he's beat. And it's not even like by that, it's only by that much. It's not a
Mhm.
lot, but
Yeah.
it's just that much. Especially when you play good quarterbacks and they know where they're supposed to go with the football. That is the difference.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, DJ here covered the Saints, so he knows this. But no, what I mentioned to some of you before we've started, my where I was going to go with this question was, could there ever be a chance, because they talk about guys being versatile on this defense, right? I'm kind of starting to see that maybe Marshawn underneath might be a thing, might be something, because Marshawn's grabby. We know that he's physical. You can get away with that a lot more in the slot, believe it or not,
Right.
and Mikey seemed to me, with my own
Well,
eyes,
yeah,
played better on the outside last year.
sure did.
So
hey,
I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be like that the whole game, but from a versatility standpoint, maybe you start to mix it up, because at some point you have to ask the question, when are the adjustments coming? Because you can't sell me, I'm sorry. You can't sell me that the scheme is 100% fail proof, that it works if the guys trust their eyes and they do this. I mean, we're in the third game, going into the third game of the season. Shouldn't they be trusting their eyes already? And then on
Right.
top of that, we keep hearing about playing fast, physical, free. Well, now I'm seeing guys out there, at least in that Green Bay game, they look like they were thinking out there. And
yep.
that's not what we want. We want them just going at it. We want to see what we saw against the Giants. And I understand the Giants didn't have the same offensive line as the Packers, didn't have the same quarterback as the Packers. They have a better receiver than anybody on the Packers. Let's call it like it is. And yet they still were able to contain and do some things in that Giants game that we didn't see in the Green Bay game. So, all right.
Like it's
So,
the speed. It's got to be the speed of Green Bay, because Green Bay's speed is ridiculous. They have a Olympic type wide receiver with his speed, and for me, that's the problem with Marshawn. He's always thinking about getting beat deep.
well,
So
guess who didn't get beat deep? uh
right,
Trey Amos on the other side broke that up, and somebody
because
jumped
he
on me. Oh, he underthrew the football. Stop it. The bottom line is, did you
Right.
see the recovery speed on that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yes,
and
That
it's
was
okay.
D'Angelo Hall in his heyday type
Yeah,
recovery.
man. It's okay to say you have a rookie that's exceeding expectations. And we've been saying this all training camp, that Trey looks like their best cornerback. I mean, as a rookie, he looks like their best cornerback. Maybe from a physical attribute, he clearly does. So now he's starting to play like it, and it's okay. I have no problem with that. Am I saying that Marshawn's not it anymore? He's washed? No, I don't feel like that. I think he's still a really good football player, but I want to see him put in positions where he can excel, with his skill set and not ask him to do things that maybe he shouldn't be asked to do at this point. So anyway, all right. So let's go on. We got, I
I
see
got
you
a quick
see. Yes,
I
go
got a
ahead.
quick point about that because I feel like Marshawn got done dirty this last game. Like
Mhm.
everybody's blaming him, and I put
I
more of it
totally
on Witt
agree.
than because when he's doing all that crossing and having to do man cross the field like 3 times while before pre-play, like how are you going to keep up with anybody? I don't care who you are. Like, and Love was just spot on with his passes. Like, I mean, and everybody
Mhm.
says like when your passes are perfect, you can't defend it. I mean, you can listen to Fred Smoot all day long, and that's what he talks about all the time. If you cannot defend a perfect pass, and when they're doing crossers like that, and Marshawn is expected to stick with him the entire time,
Mhm.
there's no way you're going to stick with that. That's not on him. That's on Witt. They need to split it up while he's doing crosses, and so you're not having to do like a half marathon before you like the play actually starts. Like
One of the things that I've noticed, especially over the last 2 weeks since the season started, you thank God you guys aren't like this. And this isn't calling out anyone, but I do come across fans that pick and choose who they defend and who they don't. Okay. And I'm going to say this. I have no problem saying this. And I'll walk right up in the locker room with having said this. I don't hear anybody talking about Frankie Louvu right now. And
Nope.
Frankie Louvu is non-existent right now.
I
Yeah.
was going to say,
Milk,
who?
milk,
That's
milk
true.
carton
Neutralized.
Frankie.
Okay. So again,
Neutralized.
so I'm going to say this. Is it Frankie or is it the
Coach.
scheme?
It's the
Mhm.
coach.
And
It's
I
the
think,
scheme, man.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
It,
yeah,
it,
Scheme.
you know,
yeah.
we saw this too
You
much
gotta
last
put
year.
you
Too
gotta
much
you
last
gotta
year.
send Frankie. You gotta put Frankie in attack mode. You gotta put a battery
Frankie
in
should
his back
never
and
be
let him
allowed
go.
to cover a tight end in his
Never.
life.
No,
And
Exactly.
nor does
Neither
Bobby
should
Wagner.
Bob. Neither should Bobby.
Absolute. These guys
yeah,
are game wreckers close to the line of scrimmage. That's
Yep.
what they
yeah.
do.
That's some Ron
Yet I
Rivera
see
stuff right
them,
there.
yeah, and I see them covering tight
Mhm.
ends. You can't do this. And again, I was told over and over and over the last 2 years that they're not going to put guys in position to do things that they should not be asked to do.
Exactly.
And I'm seeing it all the time now. So
Hmm.
something is off here, and that's what I'm saying, and that was the basis of my question. It wasn't to say you're a terrible coordinator. It wasn't to say to Cliff you're a terrible offensive coordinator. No, because I don't think that. I think they're really good coordinators. I think Cliff's exceptional at times when he wants to run the football. I will say that, but I think with Cliff, you've got to get Terry involved in this. I do not care if
yep.
Terry's being double teamed. And the
That's
reason why I say that is because
You went
Justin
mute.
Jefferson, Jamar Chase,
Somebody.
CeeDee Lamb, Tariq Hill, they get double
They all get
teamed,
doubled.
but they
All of
find
them.
ways to scheme them to get open. And you
Yep.
can't
They get
expect
they
for
get
Terry to fight off double teams if it's not part of your scheme.
yeah.
I don't want Terry. You cannot have paid Terry all that money to be a decoy out there. No
no
way.
way.
Nope.
You have to get him involved. And that was the gist of my question to Cliff. And I respected Cliff's answer. I know where he was going with what he was saying, that they all have to come together and play better. And that's his way of saying I got to call the game better too. I'm okay with that, but he wasn't dismissive. And that's the problem that I had with Coach Witt.
True.
Yeah.
True. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So
Man,
that's
Blake,
my,
I have a
I'm
question
done
for you.
with that. Yeah. Yeah. Who's
I got a
that? Yeah,
question for you.
absolutely.
If, like, say for instance, we know that John Bates is going to be out and is definitely one of the best blocking tight ends we have,
Mhm.
opposed to trying to leave possibly one of the running backs to chip and to help, with the line. Could we like use like an offensive lineman to play that third tight end just on certain screens and certain plays?
Or
Um,
100%. And that's what they're going to
Yankoff.
do. So
okay,
yank off, but he's not, Colson's not the best blocker. He's not. It's
okay,
hard to replace a John Bates because he's a unicorn. I mean, he's like the best in
yes,
the league at
yeah,
blocking as tight end. But you're right. I think what you're going to do is you're going to see some tackle eligible stuff tomorrow.
okay,
Something that I have been saying, and you can reach out to some of my colleagues and they will tell you I have been saying stop the nonsense talk of sitting Josh Connerly. That would be stupid.
Stupid.
Yes,
Let him keep going
absolutely.
through this. He's only going to be better for it.
Yeah,
But I did say next to him, I would put Andrew Wiley in at right
absolutely.
guard. And I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. I think Wiley starts at right guard.
He's gonna
So Allegretti would be the tackle eligible guy that you could bring in to help
Yep.
be a blocker in those situations. And then
Or
also,
or
don't
Trent
forget
Scott.
about
Oh, Trent Scott. That's
or
right.
Trent Scott. Yep. And also
Mm.
don't forget about Chris Rodriguez. Chris
That's
could
true.
come up and be another guy too, kind of like a fullback type, H-back type.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, this is why I love talking to you guys, because you guys see how the creativity could be there, but
Yeah.
you just need it in the building. That's all we're
Yeah,
saying,
Right.
man.
that's the thing too is it wasn't until like the media and the fans started saying, why do we always have Terry on the left side? Like he did the same thing to
Always.
D Hop. He did the same thing to D Hop, and D Hop numbers went down. And then everybody has to say, hey, you only have Terry on this side. Move him around. Put him in the slot.
Put them in
He's
motion or
always gonna
something.
Put
he's
him in
always gonna
motion.
face double teams. He's been facing double
Yep.
teams since he has been in the league since he played that first game in Philly and should have had 3 touchdowns. He's a problem. But if
Yeah.
you come into a game and you don't let your I'm gonna use this car analogy. If you come into a game and you leave the Ferrari in the garage, you deserve to get 50 hung on you because you didn't come with your best car, right? You didn't come to win the race. You came to look good, look pretty, and not let it get no dirt on it.
And
They run best
yeah,
fast and they get dirty.
yeah. I'm along the lines. When I see stuff like this, it reminds me. It's eerily similar to I used to lose my hair. Well, I lost my hair doing this. I remember when Jordan Reed was here, and there would be times he didn't get the football, and it would DJ. You remember, man? We used to go at it. We could not understand for the life of me. And I remember I asked Jay this at a presser, and he said, "Our offense is to go to the open guy, and the quarterback has to find the open guy and open." Listen, when you have one of them ones, he is
Yep.
the open guy.
Yep.
And I say this because I watch Minnesota. Okay. Justin Jefferson, I feel like, my God, man, he might be in the Terry category. Look at all these quarterbacks throwing him the football. But he's still getting 120 catches, 1700 yards.
Yep.
Double digit
Who's
targets
the
in
other
a
receiver
game.
on the other side of him? Like, I mean, we know
Addison.
I was saying we know that, but I'm saying to the normal masses,
Yeah.
they could not name the last
No.
3 receivers that played with Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Probably couldn't name the quarterbacks, but that's the thing. Justin Jefferson is being schemed clearly to get open somewhere.
Yep.
They're not saying
Yep.
to Justin Jefferson, just line up and beat those that single high over top of you. No, they're scheming him to get him
Yep.
open. And
Yep.
that's what I'm not seeing them do with Terry. And that's malpractice. Is that the word I can use, Mike? Can use?
Yeah, that's spot on. I condone it. I
Mike,
approve it.
Hey, look.
still there with us? Yeah. Is that's a word, right? That's malpractice. Practice.
That's the interview question. That's the job interview
You're a
question. That is the
playmaker
job
and
interview question. You have
at all
3 playmakers. Right. You have this playmaking wide receiver. He's getting double teaming and this and that. What do you do to get him open? That's a job interview question. And then you should absolutely be going out and doing it. And if you can't do it, we taking play calling responsibilities for you. We're giving it to the next man up. Because this is all a competition, right? These coaches compete versus the other coaches. And just so y'all
Yep.
know, Dan Quinn and Mike LaFleur,
Thank you.
their records are not even. Like LaFleur in Green Bay, he mops the floor with Dan Quinn.
Yes, you
And
do.
one of my friends from Atlanta, he will tell you that the one way to beat a Dan Quinn coach defense is the tight end. And I'm sorry, I got hyped because like you put that battery in my back just now. And we got one of the baddest tight ends coming in to play us on Sunday. And if this tight end go wild, if we see Frankie Louvu or Wagner guard this tight end, I'm walking to Washington, D.C. from Texas. And I mean it. I might show up in a month and a half.
But you know
I'm
what's
coming.
surprising? You know what's surprising is that you practice against Zach Ertz. I mean, Zach Ertz is one of the best route running tight ends ever. I mean, that's just that. I said this before. Zach Ertz to me is a French Hall of Fame football player. He really
But
is. If you go back and look at his numbers and look at his success.
is Bobby Wagner covering Zach Ertz in practice?
No, and he shouldn't be. And so this is the thing.
Right.
I've been calling for two guys. I'm gonna say these names, and you guys tell me what you think because we haven't seen them. But I do know for a fact that, Jordan McGee and Kane Madrano are uber athletic and
Yeah.
fast.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
If anything,
Mm.
I'm not asking you to read defenses because I'll come out and say this. Jordan, the big play to the tight end, down the seam in Green Bay. Jordan misread that. He did. And it caused total chaos on the field. That was on Jordan. But that's a young player. Those things are gonna happen. But the bottom line is I don't want a bunch of crossing and eyes should be over here and guys have to instantly. It's like saying to four of you right now, in our panel here, the four of you have to be thinking on the same wavelength all the time. To me, sometimes my thing is line up against this guy, you line up against that guy, and it'll shave some of this overthinking down. And for me, Kane and Jordan are so fast and athletic. If anything, just say cover this tight end. Just stay with this tight end, and you have enough in Bobby and Frankie as far as Pro Bowl players that are super smart that they'll be
Yep.
able to take up for the rest. I just don't want to see this overthinking start to happen because I just feel like coming from Green Bay, those guys look like robots out there. And that's the last thing you want to have happen because that means some guys aren't remembering assignments and there's in this maybe it's too much on their plate. Didn't we hear last year Coach Witt say to us that I vividly remember him saying that maybe we were asking them to do too much, so we got to scale some things down. Sometimes that stuff works, man, when you don't have to overthink everything. This isn't everyone keeps saying it is chess out there. Well, it looked like that with Green Bay's coaches. They looked like they were two steps ahead on everything
Yep.
that was
Yep.
called. It was almost like
Yep.
they knew the whole playbook. And
Yep.
I'm sitting there
It's
looking
true.
at one point in the game, I promise you guys, I'm in the press box. I literally pulled up my card and I'm looking down Green Bay's roster and I'm like, damn, they had to have picked up somebody from the practice squad last week or something because everything they did worked. And
Well,
it
LaFleur was in Atlanta with Quinn.
absolutely
So he know how he
was.
thinks.
Yep.
He know how he thinks. So,
But see, this is the thing that I want to know. How much is Dan calling?
Right.
How much is he
Dan
involved with the
calling nothing.
defense?
I don't think he
I don't
called.
think he's calling none of
That's
it.
100% what I think. And that's, so those are the things that, you want to ask, but you have to find a way to be able to ask it where it's not like, I'm saying, Oscar, he's terrible, so let me, how can I get around this? No, that's not, I have to have some civility to this, man. And it's tough sometimes asking these tough questions, but again, not loaded questions. I do like Cliff's answer, obviously. And Coach Witt's always been good about answering stuff. He's I just think that he knows that people are watching that defense right now. And when the offense isn't clicking, one of them units has to rise to the occasion and carry the other one, if anything.
Yep.
I think we saw in that first game. What would you guys say? Okay, first game of the
Defense
season.
showed up.
You think the defense had the better outing than the offense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, 100%.
100%.
So which unit Thursday?
None.
In all three
teams.
phases.
None.
Special teams?
Special teams showed up, except that misses. But I'm talking about like
Like the coverage unit and
Yeah,
the
the cover.
return.
Oh, they did good. All them did good.
Yeah,
both
Debo,
sides of the
Jalen
ball
Lane
got cooked.
returning, absolutely. So, but offense and defense.
Thursdays.
But the
What I-
difference in the
What I
two games,
realized, yeah.
the
Yep.
difference
We
in the two
don't-
games
so-
is we play. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, my bad.
No, go ahead. Dwayne.
No, I'm just saying we don't play well on Thursdays. Our worst game last year was a Thursday night against Philly.
Yeah,
That short week.
Man, I ain't blaming.
I just don't.
Doing
I
that,
can't
bro.
do it
I mean,
either.
I can't do it. Yeah.
Me
yeah.
neither.
Listen. At the end of the day, yes, I understand what everybody's saying. I'm not blaming Thursday night, but y'all all know when you got an old car and it's cold, Thursday, you gotta warm the old car up. And Thursday looked like the youngest team in the league against the oldest team in the league. That's what it looked like.
You know what?
And while that might,
I'm not gonna argue with that because it did look like speed and precision was a little bit better in that green and gold. It did. But
That
I'm
looked
gonna
like
say this. That was the first time in the last year and a half that I just flat out, there's no doubt in my mind they got outcoached. There was no
Oh
doubt.
yeah,
I
for
totally
sure.
oh
agree.
yeah, for
I
Yeah.
sure,
totally
For
And
agree.
yeah,
that's a problem.
for
You
sure.
Yep.
because when you
Yep.
do have the oldest team in the league, you have to make sure that these guys are in position.
That's right.
And they weren't. They were flat out outcoached. And
Yep.
so for me, I don't even hang this on the players, and because I'm gonna say it, and
I said that last week.
you guys see that I'm having kind of like bad flashbacks to Green Bay. It was bad. It was,
Yes.
and I was the old car on the field cold after the game on the field, and it was 50 degrees. It was
Right.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
That
I
was
didn't
one.
expect to play.
That was they just you got to move past that. The best way to move past that is to win tomorrow. You got to get the dub tomorrow if you're
Got it.
going to have any chance to be what we all think they should be and what they will
Yep.
be. You got to beat these teams, and this isn't disrespecting the Raiders. If somebody's watching this from the Raiders, not disrespecting you. I think Pete Carroll's got them going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But he's having to totally ball up the culture that they had and revamp it. And naturally, it starts with just playing aggressive, and you're going to see that. There's a matchup tomorrow I'm greatly looking forward to, and that's Jeremy Chin and Zach Ertz. They used to battle in practice last year. They had wars.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Jeremy's on the injury list. He was on the injury list too.
Yeah, he's all right
He's
though.
gonna
He's
play
playing.
though. He's
He
gonna
playing,
play.
Yeah, he's
trust me.
playing.
Oh, I doubt if he misses
Yeah,
this game.
they
That's
would have to
definitely
drag him off. He's playing coming back here.
He mad.
Yeah, and there's some layers to that too, and I'm not going there, but yeah, there's some layers to that. So he's playing.
Late.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Yep.
Everything what we're talking about right now is everything what I said on the show last week when I
Mhm.
said it starts with Dan Quinn. And again, Pete Carroll, Dan Quinn relationship. He's up under his umbrella. So all I'm trying to say is the question you ask about panic,
Mhm.
there's no panic, but the only way my panic door will open if the coaches get out coached again. That's the only way my panic door will start to open. That's what I'm looking for right there. And again, the question you asked to Joe Witt,
Mhm.
same thing what I talked about last week with Frankie Lugu. Remember the show we had last week?
Yeah.
He got to put his people in position. The same thing with Cliff. That's it, bottom line. So that's when the thing starts. It's not on the players for me right now. It's on the coaching. And
That's a great point.
That's what I have to see, and that's what I'm looking forward, especially in this game right here. I got all the faith in Mariota. You know what I mean? So I have no worries. I'm glad JD5 is not playing. Rest him up. We need him for the long haul. If he's not truly that much hurt as far as structural damage, I'm fine with him getting some rest. Mariota can do it. But that's where I'm at. I got the faith in our team. We're going to do it, and we're going to go ahead and show the world we that team without JD. Everybody thinks JD5 is our savior. Yes, he is, but I still believe in the team even without JD5. So we have an opportunity to do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
You asked the question about where is our concern and what will we be concerned with for tomorrow.
Right.
My concern right now is we are a little bit beat up, but we cannot come out of this game in worse health than we went into it. If we come out with another season in an injury, like we cannot come out of that. But these players don't expect to go into a game and come out hurt anyway. But what I need to see, honestly, is this offensive line establish some sort of dominance, this defensive line establish some sort of dominance, and my confidence level in our right tackle and Connolly after this man has faced Burns in week 1,
3 all
Micah
pros.
That's
Van
right.
Ness,
That's right.
and Micah Van Ness and
Max
what's
Crosby.
the The kid in Green Bay, because they kept switching sides on him too. They was
Oh,
playing games
Rashawn
with him.
Gary.
Gary.
Rashawn Gary,
Yeah.
and now
Yes.
he's about to face Max Crosby. He's coming through this. He's getting armor, because you can't tell me that Allen Iverson didn't get points dropped on him by MJ and didn't learn from it.
Mhm.
So this guy is getting lessons right now, and it's going to pay off later down the line when in our division games towards the end of the season. But the offensive defensive line, they got to come out and establish and give Cliff a reason to run the ball, give Joe Witt a reason to send some blitzes that they are beating their one-on-ones, and then let them add a player like a Frankie Louvu. Let him come downhill. If we can't do that, and Gino has time and no colors flashing in front of him, yeah, I'll be walking.
Yeah. So I think, key, so let's do this for like the next 7 minutes or so, then we can wrap up. But key to the game, like Tupic, you kind of hit on yours just now. I'm just gonna say this. I want to see a lot of Ja'Cory tomorrow, or a lot of Bill. I do.
Yo,
And I what I was seeing of him in his brief 4 touches in Green Bay actually looked pretty effective. And for whatever reason, they
They
just didn't want to stay with the run.
Nope.
When you have a pass rusher, an edge rusher that's a demon like a Max Crosby, like a Micah Parsons, like a Rashawn Gary, like a Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, everything that Josh Connolly's been going up against. I go back to run the football and run it often and run it early to get these guys lathered up, to get these guys with a feel of what they're going up against across from them. But if you have these guys and pass block, from the jump, that's tough, man. It's going up against the guys they've gone up against. So I want to see a lot of, Bill running the football. I want to see Chris Rodriguez get some touches too, because I think that those guys are young, fresh legs, and I think Bill's so versatile that one play he can pop one on you, one play he can flip the field on you, So they have to do that, because these 3 and outs, because of these bubble screens and stuff like that. I want to also see them throw the ball down the
Kill
field.
that.
Even if it's not successful, throw the ball down the field often,
Please.
early, to get the defense to back up a little bit. It's
Yeah.
almost just like you and I, you guys can call the same thing, that you see what's getting ready to come before it happens. And
Mhm.
we're seeing it. If I'm seeing it from the field or the press box, and you're seeing it from the field if you're at the game or the television, don't you think the other team is seeing this too? So let's not outthink ourselves. Just man up,
Right.
go forward, and bring this W. So anybody can chime in, but what I'll do is whoever I can see, because it notifies me who's the first person to say something. So that way we're not talking over each other. But you're key to what you want to see in this game. So let's each answer. Let's try to make it 20 seconds or less. So
I gotta go real quick, so I'll go ahead first.
Okay.
Basically, it's pretty simple. I think you're right. You got to start going and moving downhill. Got to start getting the run game going and let these guys fire off the ball. They're always better when offensive line are always better when they can dictate the line of scrimmage and go knock some heads. If you do that, I think everything else will come into play and be fine, because we know Mariota still has the things that JD5 has, so he can move and run and whatever. And defense is just play sound. Don't get out of position. Play your position and not try to be a hero. If they do that, all those things, they should be fine in this game.
Okay. All right. Good stuff, DJ. All right, brother. All right. Anybody else? What something you looking for?
We got to win the turnover back. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've turned the ball over yet this year either.
No.
No,
Nope.
we haven't.
Sure haven't.
But
Nope.
we need one, man, a fumble recovery. And granted, I think those are 2 big reasons we won both playoff games last year. Was we
Sure
won
did.
Oh yeah.
that turnover battle. So
Yep.
we need, and for the love of God, fingers crossed, we need to keep the left side of the line intact. We need Laramie healthy, man. If Laramie go down, I'm gonna start crying, man.
Well,
I know, right?
we can't, I
Right.
always say, my better half always says, don't put that in the air.
I
I
didn't
know,
say it
right?
then. I didn't say edit,
Yeah,
edit,
yeah,
edit,
yeah,
edit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, because you also have to look at it this way too. This will be week 3, 2 weeks out from Big Sam coming back, and I do think he's coming back week 5. I do. So that could be another stabilizing force on the offensive line. And think about it. He would be next to Josh Connerly. So I think now you would start to see the makings of something. But again, it doesn't matter who's coming back if you're not having a balanced attack on offense. So got to run the football, and you got to get number 17 involved. There's no way that Terry should be non-existent in these football games. No way.
Well,
And
I'm
that's
glad you
not,
said that late.
yeah.
I'm glad you said that because we gotta be Al Pacino and Jamie Foxx coming down the tunnel and I mean the first quarter 6-6-6, let it
Mhm.
fly to
Yeah.
Terry first play. We gotta do it first play.
I would
And I know
draw
we
that
said we gotta
up.
establish the run. We
Yeah,
gotta
I
establish the
would I
run. I
would
heard
drive.
everybody say that, but that's the first play I'm
But
doing. Terry, go.
my first play is it's going to be 2. Yeah, that would be the second play. My first play is I'm turning around and I'm handing the football off to Bill, and because that's telling the
Yeah.
Raiders we're coming forward. We're going to turn this into a physical game, and it's
Yep.
at home. You establish the run early. Then that second play can be that deep pass because maybe some teams have come up a little bit. I hear what you're saying, Tupic, and I would not be upset. No, if they threw that to Terry on the first play, I'm saying go deep to Terry on the second play, and then
Yep.
third play. If it didn't work, third play, then maybe I'm doing some end around with Debo or something. But you got to utilize all your weapons. That's just the bottom line. You got to utilize all these weapons, and because of the lack of, I would say, blocking from a guy like John Bates in this game, you're going to have to use a lot of misdirection and things like that to keep a guy like Max Crosby from just lining up and teeing off. Matter of fact, I'm running the football at Max Crosby. That's what you have to do. You got to make them work. So, Shauna, what you got?
Yeah, basically, I would like to see some coaching competency and with emphasis on in-game adjustments. Last year, we did great at that, which I hadn't seen that in decades. I would like that to carry over for this year. If we're getting beat in a certain spot, make an adjustment. That's
Yeah.
what you get paid for. Come on.
Good stuff. Willis, were you going to jump in?
Yeah, for me, it begins and ends with both lines. They were atrocious this last game. I need to see a massive improvement from offensive line and the defensive line.
Yeah.
There was just no protection and no fear from the defensive line, no protection from the offensive line, and just that those have got to be shored up.
Yeah,
Okay.
bad. Well, be honest, he did look he little suspect on certain plays last week when you
Yeah.
watched all 22. But you
Yeah.
know,
Who was?
everybody just needs to get better. Tyler Badass, I call him
Oh,
Badass.
Oh,
Biadasz.
yeah.
Bad.
Tyler
Biadasz.
Biadasz.
Yeah. But
Hey, Lake, I agree. I agree with you offensively about that, getting this pass thing going, because right now that's their weak spot. They're good at stopping the run, but their secondary is kind of suspect. And if we can give Mariota time, he's going to kill him. Now, what
Yeah.
I did notice from San Diego last week, they stayed in that cover 4 so that Gino's strengths is his wide receivers who are kind of green, but they're fast.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you in that 4, they couldn't get by him. So they cut off the big play. I think Joe need to be watching that game again and maybe implement some of that stuff.
I mean, listen, that is one of the best points of the day. And I have watched it. And I was saying the same thing. Like, if you saw, he struggled. He struggled to read
Yes.
what was going on out there.
Yes.
And for my money, I mean, you take Derwin James out the equation, of course. I think
Right.
Washington's corners are better than the
Yes.
Chargers corners. Okay. So
Yep.
now you have those opportunities. Like, if they don't come away with
I'm
a
still on my
turnover.
podcast.
Uh-oh. Who's that?
Uh-oh.
Oh, that was Gerard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they don't, create a turnover tomorrow, this is going to be a problem.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it not going to be, it is a problem if they don't do
Yes.
that, because that's the only way you get some momentum. That's the only way you change things. You flip the field. You can't always go 80 yards. You're just not
That's
going to
right.
be able to do that. So they've got to do all these things. And I think, the beauty of doing these shows with you guys is that you guys are astute. You know what you're looking for. You know what you're seeing. And for everybody out there who's watching, this is why you have an opportunity to come on here too. If you want to share your thoughts, I prefer you do it live with these folks and myself as opposed to do it in the chat session. Because sometimes people go in the chat session and they say things that aren't pleasant. That's okay. But we're giving you an open format, an open floor to come on here and talk about it as an adult. and everyone respects everyone's opinions on here. So look, folks, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I got to get ready to leave to head on up. So hopefully when we do this again next week, we're talking about a dub, and we're
Yeah.
talking about, a better feel going to Atlanta. When we do
Absolutely.
this next Saturday, I will be in Atlanta, prepping for the game. So let's make it a good week, and everybody enjoy your weekend.
Yes.